Hi, this is Dale Buchanan, the host of Puppy Talk Podcast. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know of my new book, The Complete Puppy Training Manual. It's available on Amazon in 4 formats: Kindle ebook, paperback, hardcover, and audiobook. You can find it on Amazon right now. It's called The Complete Puppy Training Manual, and I will put a link in the show notes of this episode. I'm Dale Buchanan, and this is Puppy Talk, the podcast that offers free advice and tips for raising a happy, healthy, and obedient puppy. For more information on this podcast, visit us online at puppytalkpodcast.com. Welcome to Puppy Talk episode number 80. How much exercise does your puppy need? This is a great question, and you ask 10 different dog trainers, and you're going to get 10 different answers. In general, the correct answer is, it depends. I know that's not going to appease a lot of people. However, I'm going to continue the rest of this podcast and give you some variables that you want to look into to decide exactly how much exercise your puppy needs and when to determine if they're getting too much exercise or not enough exercise. Let's get started. The first thing that you need to consider when determining how much exercise your puppy needs is their age and breed. For example, a 6-month-old Labrador Retriever is going to need quite a different amount of exercise from a 3-month-old miniature poodle. When I say exercise, I don't mean just throwing a ball and letting the puppy run around like a goof at a dog park. I mean structured exercise that includes discipline, obedience, mental stimulation, and enrichment. This is the exercise that I'm referring to. This type of exercise is going to do a lot more for your puppy than just letting them run around and do nothing just for the physical component. We always have to include the mental component into the exercise for it to be most effective. Now let's put this into context with the 6-month-old lab that I talked about earlier and the 3-month-old miniature poodle. We have a lab and we know it's a retriever. We know that they need to be exercised a lot. They are sporting dogs and they need to get out and move a lot. In addition, they need to have mental stimulation and they need to have a job to do. They need to have things that are going to be appeasing them from a genetic standpoint. Their DNA says that they have got to be focused on things to achieve. That's what retrievers do. They go get a bird and retrieve it, and they bring it back to the owner once it's been shot. This is their job. Labrador Retrievers need jobs. However, Labrador Retrievers don't necessarily need 3 to 4 hours of exercise a day, and they don't need high-intensity exercise at 6 months old. They need structured exercise that's continuous and mindful, like Tai Chi and yoga compared to a Zumba or spinning class for humans. Anything that's going to be that high energy, like a spinning class for a dog, is going to get them ramped up. I've seen videos of puppies on TikTok and dogs on TikTok on these indoor treadmills inside a van for 30 minutes, and they're absolutely exhausted afterwards. And that's great. That's great physical exercise for the puppy. It's not mentally stimulating, though. I can tire a puppy out more by bringing them out on a loose leash, have them walk with me, have them sit and wait, lay down, stay, wait a little bit more, and then move again. Because that mental energy that's being used to do nothing is mostly what Labrador Retrievers are going to do. They're going to wait. If they go hunting, they're going to wait until the shot is done. They have to do the whoa command. They have to be completely still. A lot of the time, they're doing nothing. 90% of the time, they're being completely still so that the owner can get off the shot of the bird, of the geese flying up from the brush into the air, and then they get the shot, and then they release the dog from the whoa command and say, okay, and then the dog goes, gets the bird, and brings it back. So most of the time, a retriever is doing nothing. The myth that retrievers have to have continuous exercise ongoing is not true because I have seen a lot of clients of mine who have Labrador retrievers and golden retrievers, and they exercise them too much. They leave them at daycare for 12 hours a day. They try to overstimulate them in the backyard. They take them for 2-hour walks. It's too much. It gets them ramped up too much. And then they have adrenaline fatigue and they get tired and they're cranky because they haven't had enough sleep. So you have to be careful that you don't give too much physical exercise to puppies and you give more mental exercise. In addition, puppies are not full grown until they are between 12 and 24 months old. A Labrador retriever is not going to be full grown till 18 to 24 months, meaning that they should not be running on concrete. They should not be doing a lot of high impact on their joints because it will stunt their growth. Their joint plates aren't fused together yet. You have to be very careful about that. Now let's talk about the 3-month-old miniature poodle. This is not a hunting dog. Standard poodles can be great hunting dogs, some of the best, but a miniature poodle that's between 14 and 20 pounds is not going to be a hunting dog. This is a family dog, a lap dog. This is a house dog. For this particular dog, the amount of exercise is even less than the 6-month-old Labrador retriever. A 3-month-old miniature poodle is going to need very little physical exercise. Throwing the ball with them in the house or taking them for 5 to 10-minute walks is going to be sufficient. But you have to teach them basic obedience. Sit, down, stay, come, and you have to keep them mentally stimulated. I just graduated a miniature poodle from my 8-week puppy training program named Boris, and I have another one that's going to graduate in 2 more weeks named Remy. They're great dogs, but they're inside. They're house dogs mostly. How do you know if your puppy's getting too little or too much exercise? That is a great question, and it's very simple. Number 1, pay attention to the puppy. Notice all of the little things that they're doing. Notice the signs that the puppy is giving you that they need more to do. Or notice when the puppy is checking out. If the puppy keeps nudging your arm and they want more to do, you have to give them more mental exercise to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to go for a long walk. They may just need a 5 or 10-minute enrichment walk with a potty break. The enrichment walk is discussed in detail in my book, Leash Training Your Puppy, available on Amazon. I'll put a link in the show notes. There are several ways to notice when your puppy is checking out. 1, they look away from you. 2, they distance themselves from you. 3, they start to scratch themselves. Now, not necessarily itchy, they do it as a diversion tactic to check out of the moment. They don't want to be doing math and history and English. They want to be doing recess. But it's your job as the owner to keep them focused on doing the discipline and the obedience and give them plenty of time to sleep and to rest and have that waiting and downtime. Have them do nothing. Once they check out of the moment, the training is over and they need a rest. I'll do a whole nother podcast episode on how to know when your puppy is checking out, because that's going to be a long one. There's a lot of information there to go over. In review, it's your job as the puppy owner to do your due diligence and research the puppy's genetic needs so that you're meeting those needs. In addition, you want to make sure that you're paying close attention to your puppy at all times and looking for signals that they're telling you that they're being overexercised or underexercised, and meet those needs of that puppy immediately. Finally, when you're giving your puppy physical exercise, make sure there is also mental stimulation, enrichment, and socialization included with that exercise so that your puppy's going to be tired faster, not by the physical activity, but by the mental activity that you're giving them, the mental stimulation. This is going to make your puppy more tired, and you don't have to jeopardize the puppy's joints and growth plates and things like that and overstimulate them. You're always keeping the puppy calm, focused, centered, and balanced. I hope this information is helpful to you. If you have any questions, you can reach me through the website, puppytalkpodcast.com. This is Dale Buchanan, host of Puppy Talk Podcast. I have an announcement of a new book that I just published called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback, soon to be available on audiobook. You can find out all the details of this book using the link in the show notes. It's called Potty Training Your Puppy. It's a comprehensive book with a simple and effective way to help potty train your puppy, and it really works. Check out the link in the show notes.